Decepticons! Attack! Autobots! It's grind time!
Yes, it is, and I am he, and welcome back, Transformers Earth Wars fans, for another live stream. Another Wednesday night live stream as I'm trying to move everything over here to Wednesday nights. Hey, we got 3 people! All 3 of you get a code. Hit me up in Discord. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being in the chat. I appreciate it. Let me know if you can hear me all right. First Wednesday. Yeah, well, maybe it is my first Wednesday. I've been trying to get to Wednesday for a while. Hey, Chris Lewis is here in the chat as well. You get a code too. Why not? Let's do it. I got some codes I got to give out before the end of the month anyway. So make sure and hit me up in Discord after the chat, and I'll get you a code. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Now, when I decided to move my stream from Sunday, off of Sundays, into middle of the week, I said I wasn't going to cover the newsletter because Waza does it, Hoist does it, I think Soldier does it. They all do a great job. I don't need to do it too. That's a bit of overkill. You guys don't need to see the chat or see the chat, the newsletter that many times. You guys get it. You know what's in there. So, however, there's one part of the newsletter today that I did want to talk about because it's actually what gave me my talking points for tonight, and that is the survey. If you haven't yet, go to the newsletter, or I think Dale posted it in Discord also. And there's a link down there for a brief little survey where you can give your opinion about things like the Black Friday deals and some other stuff. Okay, lots of bundles and all this kind of stuff. Go do that. You get a chance. You get it put in a drawing to win some 5-star shards, I think, or something for doing it. But at the very end of that survey, a little open spot there where it says, is there anything else you think we could do better, or anything else you want to say, or whatever. And hey, Hot Rodimus, thanks for joining us. Just talking about the survey that's in the newsletter, and I think Dale posted it on Discord. Go do that if you haven't. And at the end of it, you get your spot where you can give any suggestions or whatever. I had 3, and I thought, you know what, these 3 are big to me, and I want to talk about them tonight too. So in no particular order, the first one I put down was fuel cells. I really think that with all the stuff going on in the game now, fuel cells are way too restrictive during the week. You've got Zen farming you need to do. You've got, depending on where you're at, what level you're at, you have Energon and Alloy. You need to be raiding and getting. Obviously, raids is different. Uses different fuel cells, but there's just a lot of stuff going on that requires fuel cells, and nobody in their right mind is going to buy fuel cells during the week. If you're going to buy fuel cells, you're going to do it during an event on the weekend. You're not going to use coins during the week on fuel cells or anything like that, unless you're an idiot like me and you do it when you're streaming in the middle of the week. Other than that, nobody does it. So I really think they just need to do away with the fuel cells during the week. Obviously, for events, it's a big money grab, or money maker for them. That they've got to have it. The game has to make money. We understand that. So I think they need to get the fuel cells out and just have those for the weekend events, and people will still buy them. They'll still purchase them. Yes, they'll have 50 or 75 saved up to start the weekend with, but we have that anyway most of the time. So I don't think they'll be losing anything, and it'll make the game more enjoyable in the fact that if you need to farm for Zen and you need to get Energon and Alloy, you can do it. The bots can still go through cooldown or whatever. If that's if they decide they want to do that, that's fine. I understand that. I don't like it, but I understand it. Right. S. Clawhossie just put... Oh, I didn't do hellos. Let me do that real quick. William Wilkinson, first in the chat. Welcome. Thanks for being here. S. Clawhossie, second in the chat. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Lord Avex was third. Chris Lewis was fourth. And Voodoo Rider or Hot Rodimus. What number was on? Your fifth? Whatever. Okay, all you guys, hit me up after the stream in Discord. I'll get you a code for being here and for being in the chat. I really appreciate you. So, yeah, we're limited by cooldowns and stuff, but I'm much more likely to coin a cooldown if I want to continue using a bot or certain bots than I am to buy fuel cells in the middle of the week. So that's why I think they need to get rid of the fuel cells. And in fact, they might wind up making money on it if you think about it, because if I had unlimited, fuel cells, I didn't have to worry about fuel cells in the middle of the week, I might coin some bots to keep rating when I've got a certain window of time that I can actually play the game, and I don't want to have to stop or whatever, or I'm not going to be able to later, so I want to get all my rating and Zen farming or whatever in, or I say, hey, I want to keep going until I fill my Energon and Alloy, or I get to a certain level on the Zen or whatever. You might coin some bots, whereas if you're limited by fuel cells and the bot cooldowns, probably not going to do both. So that was topic number one. I think the fuel cells in the middle of the week really need to be re-examined. Number two, and this has become a big problem. Here, let me switch screens real quick. Hold on 1 second. Whammo. Okay. And that is this baby right here. Not that. Where'd it go? Can't even find my own. There it is. This guy. Especially since the addition of dispatch missions. Look at this line of bots that need research is just ridiculous on both sides now. Your main faction and your other faction. It's not as bad for me on this account as it is on my other account. And it happens on this one too, my main account, but on my alternate account, I'll get to dispatch missions now where, when you hit auto select or whatever the bots, it can't choose anybody. All my gunners or all my airbots or whatever for that faction need research. And so it doesn't choose anybody, and I got to go through and manually choose them anyway. So I just think that this is definitely something that why are we limited on slots in the research lab? Open it up, make us pay for it like we did for the extra slots that we got or whatever. But open it up and let us have as many slots as we want, or cap it at a really high number. Because to me, there's just no reason why we can't be leveling 10, 20, 30 bots at a time. The character list for this game is huge now. I mean, just huge. And 1, 2, 3 slots, it just doesn't cut it. You can't get through them fast enough. Or they could say for your faction bots, which you can't use in war and you can't, do all this stuff with. You just get free skips. They don't have to go through the research lab, the faction bots. You can just boop, boop, done, move on. Something needs to change, because the time it takes to do that is ridiculous. That was point number 2. So point number 1 was the fuel cells. Point number 2 is the research. And anybody who's been following me for a long time can probably guess what point number 3 was. Combiners. So this has been a big gripe of mine for a long time. I hate that we have to have a timer for these combiners. Especially now, with all the element-specific cores being introduced, and hopefully base design becoming something important again with HQ18 coming out. You might scout a base in war and say, oh, that's a base perfect for Omega Supreme. I'm going to take Omega Supreme on that base right there. and then you get to the second base and it's a clump base, and you're like, oh, I don't want Omega Supreme for that one. I want not him, Magnaboss. Maybe Magnaboss is the best combiner to use on that base. But now you've started a 15-minute timer with Omega, so you either have to wait, which, I mean, if you're out of fuel cells, what are you gonna do? Just close down the game and go somewhere else, I guess. Or yeah, you can go do some raids or whatever, but it takes you out of that. For me, when I start a war, I want to go until I drop on a base anyway, if it's tracked. I want to do the whole war all at once, because I get in that groove and I'm focused, and I've set aside 15, 20, 30 minutes where I can really concentrate on making sure I do my best in that war. I don't want to have to leave the war and come back. So not being able to switch between combiners. And then the other bad part is you spend your 10 ore to activate Omega, and then you decide you want Magnaboss for the next base, so you got to wait. Then you spend 10 ore to activate Magnaboss, and then what if on the third base you're like, oh, I need Omega back for the third base. Now you got to wait for your timer to run out on Magnaboss, and then you're going to spend 25 ore to activate Omega. And I just think that's silly. I think instead, whenever you activate a combiner, you should get a certain number of uses of that combiner lined up, whether it's 6, 5 if they want to be really stingy with it, or 7 if they want to be generous. And that's how many uses you get out of that combiner once it's activated. But you could activate each combiner and just have those uses lined up. So you could switch between your combiners during a war much easier that way. But I've said that for a long time, that I think the timer on the combiners is just no longer feasible. Not to mention, we've got so many good combiners, and there's so many combiners, and hopefully with them all being able to get leveled up soon, they will be usable in wars, and not just Omega and or Magnaboss and possibly Skyring, but maybe we can start using others. But I'm not going to activate a lesser combiner just to use on base 1 and then have to stall for 13 minutes while that combiner expires and I can activate another one. So that's my little gripe. Those are my 3 suggestions. Research lab needs to open up, fuel cells need gone middle of the week, and that timer on the combiner is just not good anymore. But what's your guys' opinion? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there other what's it called? Oh shoot, I'm forgetting. Quality of life. That's what I'm thinking of. Quality of life issues inside the game that you would like to see addressed. Make sure you go fill out that survey that they sent out. Not only will you be entered in for drawing for the 5-star charge or whatever, but you can make your opinion heard as well. And let's check the chat. Hey, Stay Puffed, welcome. Thank you for joining. The Mad Marshmallow Man. Right, as Clausy, but even if they had dedicated slots just for the alt team, honestly, you can't use your alt team for anything except for raiding, so what does it matter? Just let us skip those. Or make the research lab unlimited slots, or just a huge number of slots. Voodoo Rides this phenomenal suggestion. Thank you. Which one was it? And the Professional Huskies here. Hey, thanks for joining us. S. Clawhouse put a global combiner timer, unlimited swaps and uses for 15 minutes, but costs extra or 13. Yeah, I could see that. Maybe instead of activating a combiner, you activate your combiners or combiner lab or whatever you want to call it, and you can pick either combiner to use within that 15 minutes. That's fine, I guess. I mean, that's essentially going to accomplished the same thing. Just stuck with the timer, which I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah. William Wilkinson says he agrees with all. Awesome. Sunsugar was here, but he retracted his message. He changed his mind about talking on the stream. Waza did do a video about the fuel cells, which is where I got the idea. He did it a while back. So obviously, if you guys haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. But ever since he said that, it's been in the back of my mind, and just recently, it really got to a point where I can't remember. I think I was going after Zen, and I was like, I've got so many bots I could still use, but I'm out of fuel cells. And I wanted to keep playing, and I couldn't, so I had to put the game away, which I think is a terrible idea. You don't want to force players to put the game away. I mean, anyway. Professional Husky says, who is good with 4-star aimless, 4-star trigger happy, or 4-star brawl? Which one is aimless? What's the Autobot equivalent? Voodoo Ride says the combiner switch. Yes, I am a big fan. Professional Husky, no. Once you activate one, that's the one you've got for about 15 minutes. Waz is here, but he's fallen asleep because my voice is so melodic that it just puts him to sleep. He just loves the sound of my voice. Action Whale's here. Make it match the COP 10 for 15. Huh? Make it match the... I'm not following that. What am I missing here? The COP... Combiner Outpost? I'm not sure what you're saying there, Action Well. Combiner Outpost, yeah. Make it match the Combiner Outpost. For 15 minutes, and then 10 more. Yeah. Either way, I just think it's something they've really got to look at. And every time I've brought it up and actually got it in front of them, it just gets blown off. Like it's not important and not something they're interested in. So it's pretty frustrating whenever that happens because to me it's a big thing. I think the other players it probably is as well. You know, and we spend a lot of time and effort getting these combiners, resources to upgrade them, so much time to upgrade them, which they keep saying they're going to cut down, but yet they haven't yet. I think we should have more freedom in using them, to be honest, I guess is where I'm getting. William Wilkinson says yes, and they need to let the research lab level up to at least 20 instead of level 5 or 6. Max instead of 6, have it level the same level as your base. Lord Avix says, I think 10 ore for 15 minutes, 20 for 30 minutes. I can get on board with that. I like that because I like to use the combiners a lot during events. Actually, when I'm power leveling, I use the combiner quite a bit. And now, it's not expensive to buy the Ore 13 with the Shanix and store it up, sure. But my big thing is being able to switch between them. Like I said, if you're really wanting to make wars more competitive to where people are having to scout and change your team and all this kind of stuff, the combiners are part of that. And I think we should be able to switch it up. Can't show any raids because the raids are done. We have a war going on right now with Canada East. I don't know if any of my replays will be accurate, but we can check one out. See if it's accurate at all. I guess for me, one of the most frustrating parts about that, about the way they just dismiss the whole, changing the combiner usage way or whatever. So they dismiss it so out of hand, like it's not like it's a dumb idea. I guess I don't think they realize that there's a lot of players that would like that or be in favor of that. I don't know. Oh, and for those following along, I recently got that G1 wheeljack core finally, got it maxed up and put on them. So we're using that now instead of the G-Metal Rejuvenate. This base here actually got a little dicey right in here. My bots were hammering this combiner, and the MDSs up here were blasting on me. I can't remember if I actually dropped somebody or if I was, all of a sudden I looked down and my health bars were really low. So I was trying to get up here and pop a couple more of these outposts before I drop my combiner, but I couldn't. I had to go ahead and drop them. So far, I think it's pretty accurate. We'll see, because I did 300 this war, so if it shows me losing, we know that's not right. Davic says, or make it 10 ore per battle, and you can swap biners before every battle. Still spending 50 plus ore per attempt. Per war. Yeah. Okay. Right now, the way I do it, because again, I like to use my combiner, but I don't like to waste the ore, is whenever I go into a war, I coin my team, which I don't mind. I understand that that's part of it, but I coin the team and I'll run until I either beat the war or I drop on a base. Because if I drop on a base and attack the war, I'm going to put on the brakes, and wait. So once I start it, I'm going all the way through it. But it would be nice to have that option to be able to switch the combiners. Esquahasi says, yeah, we get so much ore 13, even resetting MB or OS early. I have yet to run out during an event, so never have much call to save on resources by activating other combiners. Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that ore 13 is tough to get. I mean, you can jump right over here in the Shannock store, right? And you can get it. So, I'm not saying it's what I would like to be able to do, because when you're on the timer, at least for me, and maybe I'm the only one, totally possible, not likely, totally possible. Whenever I start a war and I activate that combiner, I can feel that clock ticking in my head. I've only got so much time. I gotta go. And so honestly, I don't scout as much as I should. I don't, sit there Wazo when he shows us his war attacks, how methodical he is and trying to plan everything out and decide how bots are gonna path and all this stuff. I don't do that. And a big part of that's because once I activate that combiner, I want to go. So if it's a big tracked war, somebody I really want to make sure I do my best against, I'll wait until somebody's gone through all the bases and I can go back and watch all the replays on all the bases and get an idea of what's coming. But I don't just go through and scout the base myself. And if I didn't have that timer clicking in my head about the combiner, I think I would. I think I would take more time to scout and stuff like that, but man, once I activate combiner, it's go. Even on events when I'm power leveling and stuff, it's like I got my combiner. My wife is used to me saying, "Hold on, I'm on a timer." You know, whenever we're talking, or she asks me to look at something or do something, I'm like, "Hold on, I'm on a timer." She's like, "Okay," and she'll wait till I'm done. So I think that's kind of silly. You know, I think you should be able to click activate or buy so many uses or whatever they want to call it, and you just have it there. You know, kind of like the battle boost. Before you start your battle attack, you got to select which combiner that you have resources bought for that you want to, you know, use on this attack. So you have to go through, like, just like your battle boost, you have to remember to change it if you want to change it before you start the attack. I don't understand why that would be a problem. But again, every time I bring it up, it's dismissed out of hand like it's not anything important. Oh, action mode. Let's kind of see your 6-gun and SG Jetfire stats. Sure. So this is SG Jetfire. He's the first jet to be on my war team in a long time. And that's mostly because even if I don't use his special ability here, just his base health and damage, especially when you put flak on him, it's really good. And just for him to sit back like a gunner and chew away on that. But then I've also found that this really is good. Now it's really expensive, you know, 5 + 4, so you can't use it a bunch. But those little drones up there, they do distract quite a bit, and can save your team from taking some damage. So I like SG Jetfire. I wouldn't, like, you know, go to war to argue with somebody about him, but I like him quite a bit. And then there's 6-gun, and this is my setup for 6-gun. Some people don't like top heavy on them. Some people, you know, you got plenty of options you could put on this guy, right? And I'm sure other people would put something else on him. I like top heavy. Every 10 seconds, you deal 365% of the bot damage through everything in a straight line to the target and beyond. Holy smokes, math! But there, I mean, that's a lot. And then of course his SA-11 is amazing. And the reason why I swapped him out, or I swapped out Sea Spray and put 6-gun on. Sea Spray has the edge in distance. You know, his whirlwind goes further than this guy's ability. But so many people, myself included, are now setting up the here, I'll show you. They're setting up bases with this kind of a clump right here. You know, your shield generator, your MDSs, and stuff like that, kind of all together, so these things get extra protected. You can use 6-gun. Well, here, let's do this. Base trial. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we'll go Prime League hard mode. Yeah, Lord Havix. When Waza sees a base, it's like the Matrix all in code. Yeah, for sure. So, as you can see here, I've got self-repair cores. You know, this is a pretty tough little area right here, and it's meant to be that way. If I was just attacking this base, like in a war, and I came up on this one, this is how I would attack it. I would. And we're not going to go through the whole thing because there's no point. I won't beat it without my combiner. But I would drop. I always drop my first bot either like way back here. If you click back here on the landing pad, he should come to the back. Or I'll drop, like in this case with this stuff kind of here in the middle. I'm going to drop Laser Optimus down here. I'm going to wait a second, and then I'm going to drop Wheeljack right behind him. And then as soon as he's in range to hit any of these defenses, I'm going to start his ability, and I'm going to hit him with a Wheeljack to speed him up. And this is my setup for these guys. A lot of people like to put Amalgamus on Laser Optimus, which is fine. Then you don't even have to drop a healer, really, except that Wheeljack speeds him up. Definitely recommend Rat Trap. and that's just for the anti-hack and EMP immunity. You can't beat that. I mean, Chromia, Armada Megatron, all these other bots that try to stun you or hack you. Nope, not gonna happen when Rat Trap's still alive. So I highly recommend that. And of course, I just showed you Wheeljack. Got the rung on him. His G1 core maxed out now, so it increases the power of your heal beam by 17.4%, which is higher than a G Metal Ray Booster, I believe. And then it also gives the bot you're healing a 10% attack speed boost. So without having to use the special ability, you're already speeding up that bot. And then of course, as combat stimulants, you instantly recover almost 3,000 health, and their movement and attack speeds are amplified by 80% for 10 seconds. So that's why, and Laser Optimus is one of the only bots that you can hit with Wheeljack's SA, and it actually speeds up his SA. He'll spit out more discs. That's why so many people do that. So this is the way I would do it. I would come here, I would drop Laser Optimus, then I'm gonna drop Wheeljack, and then I'm gonna, as soon as I can hit something, and then I'm gonna hit this, because if you don't, and he's fully healthy, Wheeljack will walk up past him, which is kind of annoying. And so then I would drop 6-gun right here, and I'm just targeting this. And I'm gonna hit it one more time. That's a lot of ability points, but this area's got to be taken care of. It's a problem. So then I'm dropping these, and I've lost both those guys. But now that shield generator's gone. And 6-gun can take out those. So if I were attacking the space, that would be my first area of priority. And that's how I would do it.
Autobots, retreat!
You're welcome, Action Bell. No problem, buddy. ROFL Bozo11 says, I think in Prime League you should be given additional points for beating the base without deploying a combiner. Make it more challenging. That's not a bad suggestion. Put that up. Action One says, took screenshots. Thanks. I'm going to work on replacing Starscream with SG and Dirge with Trigger Happy on my main team, and maybe even get run amok for my team. Yeah, Dirge and Blades, I think they are they're still useful. Like, you can still use them. You don't see them as much anymore. Is Run Amok Red Alert? I can't remember. Is Run Amok Red Alert, or is that Blur? This is my Red Alert, in case you're wanting to see him. But I think... Okay, so Run Amok is Red Alert. Is that what you're telling me, Lord Avix? Okay. And Lord Avix says, okay, thank you. So this is my and honestly, I was going to use him for a minute on defense, and then I changed my mind. But that's why I put Solus Prime on him, was so that on defense he would, drop something else that would help maybe slow down the offense. Lord Avix says, but who attacks in Prime without a combiner? Well, nobody right now, but if there were extra points for it, I might give base 1 a go without it. Just to see if I could do it or whatever. If it's sometimes base 1 you think I could have beat that without my combiner, but I don't know. There are certainly tracked wars I would not, even for extra points, attempt it without a combiner, but I might be tempted in some of the wars to do it. Blur is Runabout. Okay, so Blur is actually one that, as you can see as we scroll through my 5 stars here, all my 5 stars are maxed except for Skids, who's cooking right now to 60. So during the event, I ran out of bots to level, so I jumped over here to Blur. Got Blur up to Well, you see where he's at. I haven't upgraded this yet because I'm starting to save my spark. And I'll show you why I'm saving my spark. Blur is amazing. Blur, really amazing. Like, really good bot. How many, where did you go? Asks, how many bots maxed? Well, all these 5 stars. We've got 6 in a row, except for the top one. Let's see. So we got, it's too many to count. I got all these 5 stars here maxed. A couple of 4 stars maxed. And then there won't be any more until we get down to the 2 stars. I don't have any of my 3 stars, mostly because most of these 3 stars are going in for like a huge cook, and I just don't want to tie up the research lab that long, which again is another reason why we need to look at the research lab. But then I think I've only got 1 or 2 stars here that aren't. I used to do that all the time. As soon as we got a new 2-star, like the next event, I would max him out. Like I'd coin him through his upgrades and everything, and max him out, just like I said, I have maxed out. But I kind of don't do that anymore, really. Maybe I did. Nope, here they are. These are the ones that still need max right here. So these guys are only getting action through the dispatch missions. And they're not even out on a dispatch mission right now. And then, of course, all those. So, bots I'm missing while we're here. Oh, looks like I could get 2-star skids. Those are it. I've got the 5-star. There is no 5-star, and there is no 5-star. So, yeah, might as well. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get all of these. This is a little trick. In case you don't know, whenever this is here, you can click here. See, I've got 1,300 more of these. It's only 100 per, so I can go through and collect, you know, all of these that I want, so long as I don't go crack it. Once I go open this, then this goes away, and you can't do this anymore. But I've already got all the other iterations of skids, obviously, so there's not really a big point in saving up the shards for it, so I'll just go in here and do this. Thanks, Lord Avix. Math is hard for me. It's not that I, well, yeah, batch 3. So funny story about batch 3. And I'll show you real quick. I said I was going to show you why I am saving. So if we come down here, look at that. I've got enough for 3, right? And obviously I've got 3 left. So this is funny because when this batch first came out, if you remember, all of these, well, maybe not all, most of these bots were considered really good. Like, this was back when the backdoor attack was so popular and all this stuff. So Springer was really wanted and all this stuff. But Cheetor was like the worst. This is before his buff. He was the worst bot. And of course, my first pull from this batch was Cheetor. And I was so, it's the only time I've almost taken my phone and thrown it from pulling. Now, there's some other things that, you know, anyway, from pulling bots, that's the only time. And then, of course, not too long after I got him, a few weeks, month maybe, he got his buff. And all of a sudden, he was one of the most powerful bots in the game for a while. So that's when I learned I'm not going to get upset about any 5-star pull I get. Whenever I'm going through, like, you know, if I really wanted Ultra Magnus for some reason, but I pulled Springer, I'd be like, that's all right. I'll level him up and I'll use him and I'll, you know, have him ready. And there might be a time when he's really useful, and I may never really use him, but it is what it is. So that was my funny story about that. But I am saving all of these 3 pulls because I do believe the next 5-star batch will have skids and twin twist, and then 3 new bots. And I'll be able to gank them all if I want, or if I don't, I can either save them or I can come back here and just get these just to finish the collection, I guess. And of course, all these prime shards that Waz has been harping about. I'm glad he convinced me to start saving those a while back. Been saving those as well. Oh, and while we're here, let's take a look. So, probably won't be pulling from this batch. Shield Drawn would be okay. I don't want Dazzle Strike. And then this batch, we've got them all. This batch, we've got them all. This batch, got them all. And then this, we don't have Zor, who I would like to have, and Trip Up. I would give Trip Up a go if I got Trip Up too. But honestly, I'm not too bothered about combats. Like there really aren't any combats where I'm like, ooh, I gotta have it. Like for a while it was Top Shot. I really wanted Top Shot for a couple of Gooning. Like I really want Top Shot. Like that's the bot to put on cover. And I really chased that. And I remember I was so frustrated trying to get that one. But honestly, since that, I don't think there's been a combat that I've really just been like super excited about getting, you know. That's why the when they announced the 1.5 million or whatever event coming out, it's going to be for combat. I'm like, yeah, I probably won't go very heavy in that one. I say that, but I always do because I just like to play the game. But but there isn't really a combat that I'm just itching to get, and I don't think the new one's going to be, you know, one that makes me want to, because all the combats I've got right now on the bots on my war team and stuff are pretty good match. You know, I don't think
Roll out.
I don't think I would change any. You know, on Laser Optimist we have Rat Trap. I told you why. SG Jetfire has 5-star flak. No need to change that. Blaster. Of course, you want Traxodon. I don't think I have enough to... No, I'm way low. Yeah. Gotta have Traxodon and Quintus on your Blaster. Rook. Rook has stripes. I could swap out on Rook. I'm not totally sold on this. I put stripes on to heal Rook to try to keep my healers, make them less busy. That was the whole point of putting stripes on. But I could be convinced to change that. 6-gun, like we said earlier, has top heavy. I really like that combination. Probably won't be changing it. And of course, Wheeljack has Rung. And then Smokescreen has Glitch. I like Glitch on Smokescreen because the range on his ability, him and Warpath are the only two bots I'd put Glitch on. Because the range on their ability is so big. Glitch doesn't really limit me from using their SA. So I would go ahead and leave Glitch on, and you know, Glitch does pretty good. I could increase that critical chance, but it's a chance. And then of course, excuse me, Minerva. Again, Rung. Alpha Trion. I don't know that I would switch. I mean, another healing combat, that would be better. I don't know. And that's my war team set, so you know, if I was gonna switch, like if I were to put Sea Spray back on, where is Sea Spray? There he is. I got Spoil Sport on him right now. Not super crazy about Spoil Sport either. I mean, he's all right. I'm not bothered by him, but I don't know. Combats just don't really get me as excited as bots. Until I see one that really changes something. I mean, if one really changed something, then yeah, I'd go for it. But let's see. Yeah, you're right, Bozo. Prime is kind of a 300 fest at the moment. That was the whole point of trying to make wars harder and stuff, and then everyone complained about it, but whatever. Voodoo Rides, first one was Springer and then RC. How many 5-star combats do I have? I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 22, 24, 25, it looks like. That seems like a little excessive, doesn't it? Yeah, I still haven't touched this guy. I'm not sure what I would do with him. Red Heat, you see, isn't attached. SG Steeljaw isn't attached. I really like SG Steeljaw, but I just don't know where to put him. Okay. Trenchfoot, of course, is off. I actually used Trenchfoot for a while before I got some other ones. So, yeah. So that's my combats. Let's see. Voodoo Rice says I'm running that same setup on Mini. Mouse? And then Boza says, hear anything about Unicron League being added to the game as the next tier over Prime? No. The last thing I've heard about Unicron League is that it's going to stay where it's only a couple times a year. So yeah. Yes, Professional Husky 6-gun is trigger happy. That one I do know. Voodoo Rice says I'm a little behind. Voodoo Rice says he actually likes Road Burner, I'm guessing, on a raid team. Where did you go? Suggest Steeljaw on a medic? Yeah, but you gotta get rid of Rung. And the problem with it, my problem with him is if I put him, Shattered Glass Steeljaw can cause up to 399 damage per second. Every 20 seconds, he shoots rockets, 8 rockets, covering an area in smoke, blocking 34% of the damage for 5 seconds. 1, totally random. I can't make it cover my bots. And number 2, even if I could, I'd have to then start paying attention to those build bots real closely again. Because if it goes in an area where it has that shield thing, what's it called? That's real specific there, isn't it? That shield thing. Here. Yes. Disables nearby enemies' ability shields and dissipates zone damage cloaking. Area effect increased by 100%. So I'd have to pay attention to that and make sure I got rid of those. Otherwise, he would, not really be good for the team. Voodoo Ride says, put him on my Rodimus Prime. Professional Husky, I got 4-star Aimless on Trigger Happy. Who's Aimless again? I don't remember which one that is. I wonder if I've got him. Oh, quit. How would I tell? If I go here. Oh, right here. Aimless. Oh, that's the disc one. Is that Red Heat? Where's Red Heat? No, not Red Heat. No. Spoil Sport. Yeah. So Aimless is Spoil Sport. Yeah. Okay. I don't know the con ones very well, obviously. Looks like I need to go through here and beef up my alt faction some. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Hi, William Chowdhury. Thank you for joining us. Infinity Cube, thank you for joining us here. I don't think I've seen you post in the chat before. He says, I use SG Steeljaw on Drift. Works pretty well. The smoke ends up where Drift jumps to usually. I don't use Drift. Drift and Optimus Primal are two that I've honestly tried to use them and like them, and I just don't. The way he just kind of flips about and does his thing. I use him, okay, I lied. I use him for Zen farming. That's when I would use him. I don't ever choose him really for raiding. I don't ever, never use him on war. I just don't. And it's for the same reason I don't use this guy. They just go in and they go flipping all about and doing their own thing, and I just can't control them. William Chowdhury says, I just woke up. Well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Good morning. Spoil sport. Yeah, okay. Aries, hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Man, few new people in here. Hey, if you're new, if you haven't, please like this video. If you like the content, if you haven't yet, please subscribe so you get notified whenever I go live. I do have a Discord server that my buddy Righteous runs for me pretty much. Without him, that thing would be total crap, but he does a great job of managing it. We do weekly giveaways there. Make sure you go join, and that way you can be in for the giveaways, and if you subscribe, you'll always know when I go live, because I have been kind of bouncing around quite a bit, and I do apologize for that, but I'm going to try to settle in on Wednesday nights. Infinity Cube says, yeah, I wouldn't use them either if I had your setup. Fair enough. Do I use Cup, Aries? Oh, yeah. I use Cup for... he's my power leveling bot. This is my setup on Cup. I leave 5-star top shot on him for the power leveling. Excuse me. Whew, sorry about that. If you have any Cup, take your highest level Cup. Mine's the 4-star. Level him up. He's going to be the guy that power levels all your other bots. He's so good at it. I've recently just been going with his G1 core, as you see here on him. It's not as good as a Golden Lagoon. Don't get me wrong. It's not as good as a Golden Lagoon. But if you're not going to the highest level, like Zone 15, it works pretty well. You won't win as much in Zone 14. Zone 14 with a Golden Lagoon, you should 99% win. This is more like an 80, probably 80% in Zone 14. But Golden Lagoons cost. You either got to buy the Golden Lagoon bundle, or you got to spend Shanix on them, or whatever it is. I think it's Shanix. This doesn't. I got it. I maxed it. I can just leave it on. Don't have to spend anything on it. And as you see, it restores 2.3% health every 5 seconds. Additionally, increases your damage by 13% for 10 seconds after each teleport. So, certainly, there's plenty of Cup power leveling videos out there. If you haven't watched Waz's Golden Lagoon, Cup Golden Lagooning video, go check that out. It makes it all simple. Like, just go watch that, listen to what he says. You shouldn't have any trouble power leveling. Now, a lot of other people like to, use it. Blur is one that some people like to use. There's different bots. Rhinox is another one. A lot of the bots that can rush through. I've seen people use Windblade. Those are all fair. I mean, fair enough. You can do it, but you'll never convince me that any bot is better than Cup. And they're like, well, yeah, but my Cup is max, and I don't want to waste the XP. I understand that. I understand that thinking, I do. But at the same time, he's so for sure. I mean, he's a sure thing. You know exactly what you're going to do. You don't have to worry about if it's a time trap. You don't have to worry about any of this other stuff. You don't have to worry about, oh, how can I avoid the outpost whenever I'm trying to rush through? Nothing like that. Like, you just pop, 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 and you're back at the HQ, taking it down. If you got Golden Lagoon, it's almost dummy-proof. Except for Zone 15. Sometimes Zone 15, you got to pay attention. But 14 and below with the Golden Lagoon on Cup, forget about it. Super easy. So, Cup is the best one for that. Seriously, watch those videos. If I know Waza generally, if he streams on a weekend during an event, he'll probably be power leveling with Cup. If I stream on a weekend power leveling, I'm going to be using Cup. Join in some of those streams and watch if you don't know how to do it. I think everybody probably knows how to do it by now, but if you don't, if you're new to the game, or if you just got Cup or whatever and you're wondering if you should use him, yes, you should use him, and that's how you should use him. Let's see. Infinity Cube says, I definitely watch a lot, but I don't comment much. I'm Trek advocate in the game and in the playtest group. Oh, awesome. So Trek advocate, I'm assuming you're a Star Trek fan? Live long and prosper, my friend. I love Star Trek. Professional Husky says, who's the best gunner? Well, this will vary by opinion, I'm sure. But, I mean, if you're just looking at power, Sea Spray, Warpath, 6-gun. Okay. Personally, for me right now, obviously I'm going to pick 6-gun because he's on my war team. There's a reason for that. He's my favorite one. Smokescreen is also on there, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm keeping 6-gun and dropping Smokescreen. A lot of people like Prowl with his core now. And, of course, Sunstreaker. I don't have his... Excuse me, sorry. I don't have his G-Metal one. But with his G1 core now, it's made him a viable option again. And, of course, Warpath is awesome to have for hitting all the way. I mean, he shoots straight to the base. Also, he's the only bot in the game that can hit a Titan. Don't know if you knew that, but you can shoot straight through and hit the Titan with him too. And of course, Sea Spray is awesome. I wouldn't fault anybody for choosing Sea Spray with his SA-11. If you're going to use them in war, all you have to do is make sure you get the build bot core with the anti-EMP or whatever it is. Make sure you take that out first. But then again, Rotor Storm, man, when he becomes a 5-star, he's really good as a 4-star. Yeah. Old school Jazz for clumped areas. You could drop his orbital strike in there. Yeah, his orbital strike can be deadly too. So I don't know. If I had to pick one, I'm going to say 6-gun at the moment. 5-star, max out 6-gun is my favorite gunner, the best gunner. But you can make arguments for several of them. Aries, who's your favorite combiner? Well, I have an entire combiner series where I look at all the combiners, their pluses, their minuses, all that kind of stuff. Highly recommend you check that out. I'm going to make one more video as soon as the dust kind of settles on Skyrain and Galvatronus. Right now they keep adjusting his stats and working out the bugs and stuff, so I don't want to make my video with him yet until I'm pretty sure they've got that all worked out. And then after that video, I'm going to make another video where it just kind of rates them all for me. Obviously right now, the only combiner I use in Tracked Wars, and there's a reason for that, is Omega Supreme. The 5-star ability just puts him over the top of all the other combiners. The only other combiner that might get a go in a Tracked War for me would be Magnaboss. Magnaboss is really good. Doesn't last as long. Obviously, it's only a 4-star. As soon as we can start leveling these guys up to level 25, which I guess is coming pretty soon, maybe it'll change, maybe it won't. I don't know if they're going to get 5-star versions of these combiners out somehow. But right now, my favorite to use is Omega Supreme, with Magnaboss being a close second. And those are really the only two I use, to be honest with you. I might use Skyrain if he wasn't stuck in upgrade purgatory. I mean, he's only at, what is this, level 13? I'm not even going to touch him till he's 18, 19. So I may really like him. I don't know. Right now I can't use him, so they've got to fix that. I think that's ridiculous that you try and strive to get these combiners, then you got to wait 2 months before you can even use it. It's crazy. Yeah, I think Cup Dead is one of the top bots in the game for power leveling. I don't use them in war. I just don't. In war anymore, I want I want my bots to all stick together.
Autobots,
So
roll out.
Cup isn't that useful when you're not power leveling, to me anyway. So I don't use them in wars. Now some people still do, even in high level wars. They'll use them and they still do the backdoor attack. Pretty embarrassing. At least I think it's embarrassing whenever somebody can backdoor my base. I don't like that. So I try to make sure I've got plenty of stuff up there that makes that impossible. So all right, so we got to use Slipstream here, huh? Let's start with this one. Got to do 3 battles with Slipstream. And we don't need any resources or anything, so we'll come down here and do an easy level. Let's see. William Wilkinson says Cup is one of those bots who needs a 5-star version. Maybe. I don't think it would be game breaking anymore. There was a time when I thought that, you know, 5-star version of Cup would have been just too OP, but I don't think so anymore. I think it'd be great for power leveling, and that's probably the only place you'd see him. Right, Professional Husky says, and another point is Dead End doesn't need a target to latch onto, because his ability, yeah. Yeah, that's why he's so good for power leveling, because he just bounce, 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 done. Just like I just did with Dead End. Yeah, Lord Avix, I definitely will. I'll definitely go back through and redo them once they're all at 25 also. For sure.
Autobots, roll out.
Let's see. Did they ever fix Magnaboss floating issue? Yeah, that's been fixed. That's been fixed. I'm gonna coin Dead End because Dead End's the best for me to use with how weak the killers are. Then Aries asks, how long have I played? Well, I will show you in a minute. I've been playing for quite a while. Quite a while. So...
Deploy!
Doesn't matter. This is low enough, I don't have to worry about it. Battle with them, but I'll show you how long I've played first. Played for 2,247 days and 21 hours. I've won 116,035 battles. 616 troops unlocked. Currently on a 10 win streak. Yeah. So successful defenses 515. Titan Tech tree level 138. Didn't even know that was on there. Yeah. So if you wanted to see like the collections where I'm at, my alliance is ranked 5th. I personally am globally 47th. That's not bad. Here's my details. I've got 357 out of 364 possible Autobots. Got 247 out of 352 possible Decepticons. There's points for that, apparently. Yep. There we go. Oh, it's like, how am I missing so many combat bots? That's because of the Decepticons. Yes, Aries, that is a long time.
Roll out.
I love this game, to be honest with you. Like, I know I complain about it a lot, and I say, hey, we need to fix this and fix that. I only say that stuff. I only do that and have this channel and all stuff because I like it. You know, I like it. Again, if you're new, you haven't heard me say it before. If you've been with me for a while, you know this is the only game I play. I don't play anything else. No other mobile games, nothing on the consoles, nothing else on the PC, nothing. Except for the, random game of solitaire once in a while.
Deploy!
You know, or maybe some Texas Hold'em. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Or maybe Texas Hold'em, you know, once in a while on the computer. That's it. This is the only game I play. So I really, even though sometimes I'm frustrated with it, I really do enjoy it. I really do want it to be the best it can be. But yeah, I think that's pretty evident. In fact, this is the only one I play. I've never played Clash of Clans. I've never done any of that stuff. So I found the game because one night I was sitting up after I'd put the kids to bed, and I was on Facebook.
Autobots, roll out.
And it was back when Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing commercials for some missile defense or missile something or another mobile game, and there was like a little preview thing of it. Click on Facebook or whatever, and I had this thing, and the little preview thing was pretty fun. I thought, hey, I'll try that. So I downloaded it on my phone, and I couldn't understand it. It was all over the place. Didn't know, what I was looking at or nothing. And I was like, I tried it for like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, this is crazy. And I just deleted it. But nope, I'm not going to do that. Don't have time to learn all that stuff. And went back on Facebook. And all of a sudden there was an ad for Transformers Earth Wars. I was like, oh, cool, Transformers. And I got to look, and I'm like, hey, that looks like the Transformers I grew up, you know, with the G1s and stuff. And sure shooting. That's what the game looked like too. And the way that it walks you through the beginning with the campaigns and stuff like that. In fact, the first time I emailed Space Ape was to say that they needed more campaigns. Campaigns were the best part of the game. That opinion has changed, but that's how I got started in the game. Just a random Facebook ad pointing me to it. I had never played mobile games really before, except for that 5 minutes of the Arnold Schwarzenegger missile game that I did not enjoy.
Abilities ready. Abilities ready.
So you didn't ask for that, but now you got it. A little history lesson. That's how I found the game. It took me a long time to learn how to do all stuff, like how I didn't know I could have more than one squad. It took me for a long time to figure that out. I had to have a buddy show it to me. He's like, oh yeah, you can switch right here. It took me forever to join an alliance because I just wanted to play the campaigns when I first started. I didn't even join an alliance for the longest time. Yeah, it's crazy. And this is how I do these little daily tasks without spending much coin. Gotta have 3 battles with strafe? Fine, I'll go through my 4-star, 3-star, and 2-star strafe. And I'll just pick a zone, because it doesn't say it has to be a certain level. It doesn't say it has to be normal. It doesn't say it has to be hard, or very hard, or easy. So I just pick a level I know my combiner can beat, no matter what. Or Titan, sorry, my Titan can beat. And I'll just do this. And complete the daily task.
Attack.
Who is the best combat bot? Well, that's a complicated question, because it depends what you're wanting it for. It depends on your style of play, the bots you have.
Abilities ready.
You know, I've got that 5-star top shot on Cup. I wouldn't want any other combat on Cup, but is 5-star top shot the best? I don't know. You could probably make a very solid argument that he's not the best, or one that he is. I don't know. I think that depends a lot on how you play and stuff, so kind of hard to answer that one. And I got 5-star Top Shot on Cup, which is great. I wouldn't change that, but then I've got 5-star Top Heavy on
Autobots,
60.
roll out.
Probably not going to be changing that either. So a lot of conditional situations on that. So yeah, well, it looks. It depends on your setup of bots. It really does. It really, really does. So yeah, I do plan on streaming, you know, about 6 o'clock every Wednesday night now. So 6 o'clock Central U.S. time. I don't know what time it is where you're at. You'll have to look at the clock. But I'm going to try to make it about the same time every week, just depending if I can get out of work fast enough. I don't really want to wait till 7. That's pretty late for anybody overseas. 6 o'clock's pretty late, to be honest with you, but yeah, it isn't too bad. So I think I'm going to try to hit this every week, so hopefully you guys will come back and join me for some more fun and shenanigans.
Abilities ready.
One of these weeks I want to be able to hit the raid on here. I've seen some people asking about what's the best bots to use in raid and all this kind of stuff.
Abilities
They asked
ready.
Waza. Waza doesn't do raids. He doesn't like them. I do them once in a while. It's not something I'm crazy about doing, but I'll do them sometimes. So maybe one of these weeks, maybe I'll go on a Monday or a Tuesday stream and show some raids. So that's how I keep up with the daily rewards. You can see I got all of them claimed, everything that they've put out except for this one. I'm waiting for the event this weekend. And this is where I'm at on the Cyber Pass. Highly recommend the Cyber Pass. It's definitely worth it. Even if you don't spend on any other part of the game, I would recommend the $10 every saga or whatever it is to get the premium pass here. And also, if you watch a lot of streamers and whatnot, well, a lot of guys will give it out. In fact, Righteous, like I said, who runs my Discord, he gives out. He has a giveaway for that once at the beginning of every saga. And he does it himself. That's not even coming from me. That's coming straight from him, which is awesome that he does. Where did you go? Says, would love to see more war vids. Okay. Sure. Again, if you've seen me attack in war, it's pretty much all the same. Like, we watched base 1 earlier. If we come all the way up here to Commander Base, it's gonna be about the same. William Wilkinson says, I'm gonna try to stream this game on my channel, but unsure how to set it up. Oh, so much work to do. Oh, really, it was crazy. But there's a lot of resources around, people you can ask. Myself, Waza, Hoist. I got a lot of help from Waza and Hoist whenever I was setting mine up. Dropped Laser Optimist with Wheeljack. Once he started clearing things out, dropped the rest of the bots, the pop outposts. Using 6-gun up here on this cluster and SG Jetfire. Usually what I do is I hit it with 6-gun first, and then I hit it with one of the MDSs once I'm not protected by the shield gen anymore. I think this is where okay. My Titan took that out. I got hung up here on this shock tower and the outpost bots, and I was really taking some damage there for a minute. Had me a bit concerned. And now we've got Hellbat, or Chromia that popped out, but Laser Optimist doesn't get frozen because Rat Trap. And then a glitch on Smokescreen, as you see Smokescreen back here. Yeah, there he goes. With glitch on him, it keeps him back away from the action. And this replay's gone off the rails now. I didn't pop in until the combiner came out, so this is all wrong. It's probably going to show me lose. But with glitch on smokescreen, he stays back. Typically, he doesn't get stunned by Fellbat or Armada Megatron because he stays back far enough. And then, with him being the sniper, I can usually snipe them out. So that's why I got smokescreen on my team. It's really good. Really good. Where did you go? Ask which outpost bot do you hate the most? I tell you, it's turning into Twin Twist. Twin Twist is really good on defense. Highly recommend you put Twin Twist in. Whew, apologies, I don't know why I yawn so much whenever I'm streaming. Then we have Dirge pop in, and we have, see, I definitely had these pop before I dropped my combiner. So this is probably going to show me lose now. Yeah, all my bots are falling now. This is wrong. Replays are so messed up, it's crazy.
There's a thin line.
It's really frustrating. I was in the lineup for our tracked war a few days ago, maybe a few, I don't know, they all run together. And I was so excited. I was base 4, chosen in the lineup. And I was right here, where Dr. Kit Kat is this time. I was there. And every guy that hit my base that beat it showed a loss. And everybody that hit it that lost showed a victory. So it was so hard for me to go back and see what I needed to do to change my base, because the only thing I could really pick up was what they did at the very beginning. You know, like one guy used Afterbreaker, Flame War to, you know, pop all these outposts and stuff like that. So I could see that. I could see what they were doing there. Some of them use the Laser Optimus Walk like I use. Okay, I can see that. That kind of thing. But so right now, the outpost bot I hate the most is probably going to be Twin Twist. If you guys don't know, Twin Twist, where is he at? There he is. That's my setup on Twin Twist. I put the Amalgamus on him. Some people say Amalgamus isn't worth it on him for defense. I think so, because as he's doing damage to your bots, he's healing himself. And without the Amalgamus, he's kind of squishy, to be honest. See, it increases all damage, including abilities, by 15.5% and restores 1% health every half second. Yeah, I like it on him. I don't think Unicron should be added to the game areas, to be honest with you. I know visually it might be cool, but it's hard enough to try to balance the Titans. What would they do with the Unicron? Like, doesn't really make much sense to have Unicron added in my opinion. Obviously, you're welcome to your own and what you think and stuff, but for me personally, I don't think adding Unicron would be a very good idea. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming and joining my stream tonight. I think that's going to do it. There's really not a whole lot more to do, more to look at, and my throat's kind of getting sore, so I'm going to call it a night. Again, if you're new, please please subscribe if you haven't. Be a friend and tell a friend. Maybe somebody else in your alliance can learn something from some of my dumb ramblings, and or maybe just enjoys seeing the content. And I would appreciate, all the likes and subscribers I can get. Doesn't cost you a thing to like or subscribe, just makes me feel special. And my mama always said I was special. So I appreciate your support. And again, I'm going to try to hit this every Wednesday night from here on out. So hopefully I'll see you again. But until then, just keep grinding.